a versatile actor.
You should focus on the things which is in your control. Never take never take the success of the first one for granted.
Bringing his magic on OTT.
Rarely I try to focus on the work area of the character. I try to get into the backstory of the person. The backstory which is not invested that much on screen.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Manoj Bajpayee for excellence in acting.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview on NewsX as part of our A-List series. We are in conversation today with the well-known actor Manoj Bajpayee. Manojji, welcome to NewsX. Thank you so much for being with us once again.
Thank you, Uday.
Let me begin by asking you about Silence 2, which of course is your much-awaited sequel to Silence 1. It's releasing on ZEE5, of course. It's streaming on ZEE5 already. So firstly, we are not going to silence you in today's interview, but why are you bringing this silence to viewers? Why was there so much of demand and so much of intrigue after your first project that you believed a sequel was necessary?
More than me, it was something that platform ZEE5 has realized that there's a huge response which went beyond their expectation. Okay. And we took everyone by surprise that Silence 1 has gone, to a place where we actually never thought that it would go. We knew that we had a good film and it will do, this much. But, it kind of surpassed all kind of expectations. Mm-hmm. And in 6 months' time or 7 months' time, platform has given us the, green light to go ahead with the writing of this. But writing took a lot of time. Writing took more than a year to really put down everything. Knowing that the first one had one murder, we knew that if it had done well, the second one has to be far bigger in terms of the characters. So that was. It's always because of the audience's response to a film and to who done it. So the who done it is somewhere we don't make that much. Okay, and because not many writers have the craft of writing it, mainly in our country. Aban Devans is someone who's kind of murder mystery junkie. She is. She was someone who's always been fascinated with the genre. Even when she was in school, she was not reading Milton Boone. She was rather she was reading Agatha Christie and James Headley Chase. So that's the kind of writer and director we have who is passionate about the genre. And when she is writing, she is not only writing a whodunit or a murder mystery, she's also getting forensic technicalities into it.
Right.
Which is quite fascinating, especially for me. I mean, it's so educating. When you are reading the script, you are going back to her all the time for all the technical details and the explanation for all those technical words, which usually used by the forensic department people.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is that aspect of it really makes it quite intriguing and quite fascinating.
Absolutely. Is this a genre though that you're fond of? You've been a part of several whodunit films in your career trajectory, but is this a genre you are fond of watching as well? Or?
I don't know. Whodunit, I think I've not been part of, Uday.
Okay.
There was this suspense film I was part of, that was Con.
Con, yes. Yeah. I was also thinking that.
Yeah, that is it. But whodunit is something yes, you are right. Like Knives Out, all of those murder mysteries that we see on OTT. One always wanted to do it, and here I have been fortunate enough to get Aban Devans, who is passionate about the genre, who has the knowledge about it. She has done so much of reading in her past, and she's so good in penning it down. and giving that much of time and energy to all the technical details, and it makes your experience quite wholesome when you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as ACP Avinash is concerned, what did you bring special to this character? What do you believe is unique about him? We've seen many cops on OTT before, but obviously there's something different about ACP Avinash. What was that, Manoj?
I try to get the human side of it. Okay. But rarely I try to focus on the work area of the character. I try to get into the backstory of the person, the backstory which is not invested that much on screen. It had two scenes in the first one, and it has only one scene in this one. But that becomes the backbone for me, and then rest of it is always discussed with the director. And when you are discussing, you are mainly discussing the character, mainly discussing what are the elements which made ACP Avinash, not the work, where he is coming from, what is his angst, why he's so restless, why he's sometimes so frustrated. It's not because of work. Work is something, the skill, the experience he has, skill set he has learned over the years. He practiced it, but it's the personal aspect of the person that makes him quite humane, and those are the things are reflected when he's dealing with his loneliness and with his teammates.
Yeah. This, of course, is a sequel, as you said, which the makers believed in. You've been a part of sequels before. Now we're seeing a lot of sequels with OTT platforms. Hit series and hit movies obviously have sequels. But how important is it, Manoj, for you to believe in the sequel yourself and for the sequel to actually get it right? Because bahut baar kya hota hai, some sequels have not worked. There are big films in Hollywood as well where the original has been amazing and the sequel has been disastrous at the box office. So how important is it to get a sequel right, according to you?
I mean, you can make an effort and keep praying. It can fall any which way possible.
Yeah.
Okay, but you should focus on the things which is in your control. Never take never take the success of the first one for granted. Okay, and secondly, don't talk about the first one too much. That's the rule number one for me. I try to avoid any kind of conversation about the last one, which was successful, and focus on the script in hand, and give everything to that. Direct all your energy to the work which is right in front of you, without even deviating, without even getting nostalgic about the first one. These are the rules I personally follow, and it paid its dividend with the Family Man. Okay, Family Man 2 is quite rare that it has become bigger than the first one. Okay, and we were also very lucky that the people were in lockdown. And they were waiting for the second one to come. As soon as it started streaming, people consumed it, and they started asking for the third one. But what I remember from the making of the second one, that we hardly spoke about the first one. We were only concentrating on the job which was there in front of us, on that day. And I think. And rest is all destiny, Uday. I mean, as I said, it can fall either way.
True. You've got to hope for the best. Absolutely. Now, you had a very successful collaboration with Z5, of course, last year with Sirf Ek Banda. इतनी hit हो गई थी वो कि actually theaters में release हो गई थी, which was so unique. Normally you have theater to OTT, here it was OTT to theater. So now naturally there is expectation when you are collaborating again with the team of Sirf Ek Banda for Bhaiya Ji. तो कुछ उसके बारे में बताएं, and how is that collaboration shaping?
Bhaiya Ji was shot in Lucknow, in and around Lucknow. Bhaiya Ji is a film that I'm very excited about, getting it to the theater. Because it is coming from the director's belief system. The director, he's young guy, 35 years old. He's really proved his mettle with Banda and Aspirant, and but it was always his dream to make a commercial film or mainstream film, which is rooted in culture. Okay, and this is and somewhere he wanted to give a tribute to the South Indian mainstream films. Because somewhere he feels that he learned all the craft of mainstream filmmaking from those films, right? This is his take, and he's done it very well. I mean, I have seen the film. I'm surprised that I could pull off all those action sequences. I'm surprised with the way he has dragged me into his belief system. Otherwise, I would have run away because it's the typical mainstream commercial film is something I've done very few. It's Satyamev Jayate or Bagi 2. Both of them are extremely successful. With Bhaiya ji, here I'm leading the whole team. And when I say 95-96% of the action sequences, I have pulled it off. Very few people will believe it in the industry.
No doubt, no doubt. So,
but I've done it for the first time. I mean, the hardcore action sequences, right? Without showing your six-pack ab and really making it believable. It's something people are really going to enjoy.
Okay, well, we are truly waiting for that to see Manoj Bajpayee, the action star, in that film. But final question then on Silence 2 once again. When you are, firstly, do you enjoy silence in your real life at points in the day? And when there is total silence around you, what thoughts are going through Manoj Bajpayee's mind?
I'm mostly silent, actually. I prefer silence completely. And if at all there are thoughts going in my mind, there are only two kind of thoughts which is going in my mind, if at all. Otherwise my mind is always quite vacant. One thought is about the character that I'm building, working on, prepping for. That the character is actually taking shape all the time in my mind. And second thought is the dad's insecurity. I'm a father, right? I have a 13-year-old daughter. So that's the usual dad's insecurity, I keep grappling with. That's all. And that's no other third thought in my mind.
Okay. Family and work. Amazing. Those are the two things, yes, that you think about when in silence. But for now, the audience knows where to get silence. Only on Z5, Silence 2 streaming. As I said, enjoy this labor of love of Manojji and the team. Thank you so much for joining us today and all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you. Lovely talking to you always.
A social activist.
We came into this business to provide housing to the marginalized sections, middle class and below middle class.
Giving back to society.
As a company, we follow corporate social responsibility and we concentrate on contributing to the development of healthcare, education and other developments.
NewsX India A-list proudly recognizes Prasada Rao Daggumalla for excellence in entrepreneurship.
Joining us on India A-list today is Mr. Prasada Rao Daggumalla, the chairman of Rade Constructions India Private Limited. Prior to this, he has had a distinguished career in the income tax department while serving as an IRS officer. In fact, he earlier served as the Joint Commissioner of Income Tax. Throughout his life, Mr. Daggumalla has dedicated himself to uplifting marginalized communities and addressing societal issues. He has brought this credibility and passion for social justice to the business realm as well. After joining Rade Constructions in 2018, he has actively led the finance department, inspiring passion and confidence in his team. At the very outset, I'd like to ask you that based on your expertise and experience as a social impact leader, can you describe a specific challenge you faced in your work and how did you overcome it to create positive change?
Yeah, we came into this business to provide housing to the marginalized sections, middle class and below middle class. And in the process, we found so many problems like land acquisition, legal problems connected to that, and construction problems connected to that. So my son, Mr. Radhe, MD of this company, he is a MBA graduate and he could solve all that. And we are into the business now. And now we are vertically growing. So all those problems can be sorted out once you have a economic discipline and due diligence if you follow.
All right, and being a chairman of a reputed real estate company, what role do you believe real estate can play in creating a more sustainable and equitable future? You've been a former government officer earlier. What change do you feel in this role?
Yeah, as a government servant in income tax department, we used to feel proud that we were earning revenue which is being paid as salary to the defense, which is protecting our country. After that, when I came to the business, we are concentrating on providing houses to the marginalized sections so that as a society people will have houses, and as a state you will have more houses, and it will lead to the development of the country. And you know, out of 145 crore population of now, I think more than 50% people are not having proper housing now. That's where we are concentrating now.
And what areas of social good are you most passionate about supporting? You've spoken about building houses for the marginalized. Are you also looking into education or healthcare? What exactly motivates you to give back to society?
Yeah. See, it is like this. As a company, we follow corporate social responsibility and we concentrate on contributing to the development of healthcare, education, and other developments. And as an individual, I have been doing the service to the society, particularly marginalized sections like SC, ST, BC, and Muslims, Christian minorities. Wherever there is a problem, educational problems, we used to address. Wherever there is health problems, we used to address. And we were trying to give them source creation for their living. And definitely we are going to, at a larger scale, now I am planning to enter into, contesting for Member of Parliament, and we are looking at a larger scale to contribute to the society.
And how do you measure the success of your social impact activities, and how do you ensure that your work leads to lasting positive change for the communities that you serve?
Yeah. We see practically when we bring some people to provide education, we see that these people grow and get employment, and they will in turn take some more people to help educate them and get employment, so that the people, one person who is educated and become economic independent will bring up his families, his family, his cousin's family, like that. So in turn, it is going to at a group level. So if you can support 10 people, you will be equal to supporting almost 50 to 60 people.
And how do you ensure the long-term sustainability of your work and its impact on society?
Yeah, we follow strict economic discipline and financial rules and due diligence so that our business is sustainable. And you know, this is as important as the core work, that is our construction. So when my son is looking after my son is Radhe, he is looking after construction work meticulously. I look after the finances, accountancy, and source for the investment. And we also get some investments and loans from the banks, so that always we see that it is sustainable business.
You've spoken about diligence, and in your view, what are the most important qualities a social impact leader needs to possess to drive large-scale positive change in society?
Yeah. A business leader should develop himself and also contribute to the society. As a country like India, it suffers from many economic problems, and many people are under poverty. Many people are not able to get education. Many people are not able to get clothing. Many people are not able to get employment. And there are people still living on 1 meal a day. There are people still living on just 2 meal a day. So when business people are getting good business, they should concentrate quality business out of the profits when they contribute to the country in the form of taxes. And they also should contribute to the society to bring them the people which I have mentioned.
And let's take a look now at the real estate industry in particular. What do you think are the biggest challenges facing the industry today, and how can it be overcome?
Real estate industry is now considered to be unorganized. Real estate contains construction and also open plots and other businesses, transaction in the lands. When you are concentrating on construction business, you should be able to see it as any other industry which can sustain for a long time. And people, directors working on that, they should look for a longer period, at least 60 years in advance. And from government side, it is better they recognize this kind of industry as an industry, not as a real estate unorganized sector. And we are trying to make it so organized, and we are ready to be recognized as a industry, so that what all industry gets from the government support or other supports, this industry should get. And it is the industry which provides lot of employment, labor, engineers, management people, and other quality people. So when it is providing such a contribution to this society, I think government should consider this to be recognized as industry to get all the support.
You've already addressed what exactly are the qualities required by a good social impact leader. But according to you, what are the core values, ethics, and vision of Radhe Construction?
Our core vision is long-term sustainability, financial discipline, and the due diligence again. This is a different kind of industry where you miss due diligence, your business tactics will not work. Those are the tenets of this business. If you concentrate on that, and if you don't want to be over ambitious, you can be ambitious. You cannot be over ambitious in this kind of industry, where we feel so many people are failed. And we are trying to be ambitious, but stick to the rules, construction rules and financial rules.
Striking that balance. And do you believe there is scope to change the government's role and regulation policy, as well as other such nitty-gritties in the real estate sector?
Yeah. If the government thinks that it is major contributors to the society and to the country, and they should recognize this as an industry, that is where I am trying to get into politics. I am contesting as Member of Parliament from Chittoor district in Andhra Pradesh, so that I can be able to speak something in the Parliament regarding this industry and get into the policy making.
All right, with that, I would like to thank you for joining us on this broadcast on India A-List and speaking to us.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with the well-known actor, content creator, and now author, Shenaz Treasury. Shenaz, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I can
As you can see, I'm holding my book in my hand.
Yes, as soon as I said, and now author, I think you raised the book up a couple of inches more. Yes, there it is. All he left me with was a recipe, lessons from my breakups. That's the name of the book. So firstly, I have to ask you the cliched question about, when you decided to turn author. What was it that inspired you, to suddenly pen this book, Shenaz?
So I've always loved writing, since I was a kid, I've always written things. I used to write plays and then make the people in my building act them out and collect 10 rupees from the adults. When I was in school, I used to write plays and, make everyone act, and I would also act in it. And then I've always kept a diary. And anytime I've been upset in life or even happy in life, I've always just written. Writing has always been my therapy. I always go down. I have so many diaries until my mom started reading them. And then I was like, oh my God. So then I had to go to my laptop and start writing on my laptops. But I've always written. Writing really keeps me sane, actually. And in fact, on planes, I travel a lot because of my, now I'm like a travel content creator as well. Even on planes, when these long flights, people usually watch movies or something. That's the time I just take my laptop out and I'm just pouring out my heart, writing. And I love writing.
Okay.
So, it's really something that, and I always wanted to be an author ever since I was a kid. I always I wanted to actually be a playwright when I was a kid, and then I wanted to be a screenplay writer. I've actually written a screenplay for Yash Raj. Not many people know this. It's called Love Ka The End.
Oh, yes.
I had written. I had written a movie called Dreading My Wedding, and I went to Yash Raj, and they liked that. They liked the style of writing. And I write a very female point of view, very chick flick kind of thing. That's what I love to write. And then, but then they had this idea of 3 girls taking revenge on a guy in one night. So they told me the idea and then asked me to write it. And that's when I realized that, and I wrote that screenplay, but I realized that if I want to write a film or a series, I'm going to have to write what they want me to write.
True.
Right. And that's when I was like, why don't I write a book? Because I really want to write a series.
Yes.
Like a show for Amazon or Netflix. And then, but it's very hard because the industry has so many clicks. It's very hard to get somebody, it's just a long process. Right. So even though I've been an actor and all, it's just it's a hard industry to get into. So I thought, why not write a book? The book does well, and then maybe somebody will option the rights. So it's like a long process. But I really want this to become a screenplay. This is the intention while writing the book.
Fantastic. So that could be adapted. That could be your screenplay right there that you're holding. That could be adapted into a series or a movie very soon. Because the response has been phenomenal. Obviously that's been, I'm sure, very fulfilling for you, isn't it? Because you always had this thought that you wanted to be an author, but now that people are reading and appreciating your work, how does that feel?
It feels great. Everyone who's read it has said it's been such a light, fun, happy read, and they were with me all the ups and downs, and they felt the number one comment I'm getting that it's very real. A lot of women are identifying, and it's a woman's life. It's a woman's life from when she's 4 to 40, and every chapter is a different boy that she meets. And some boys come back. They're recurring characters in our lives as well. And in the beginning, it's like light teenage love. It goes into her 20s and then 30s and 40s. And you see like how she grows. So it's basically her life through these boys, So you see where she is in life when you see that she's met another guy. Okay, now where is she in life? Or maybe this guy comes back into her life. And then you're thinking, will she get back with this guy? Or who will she end up with? So that's what you got to read the book for, because then you kind of know.
I was reading somewhere that, it's inspired by Bridget Jones' diary. Is that correct? And then can we also say this is Shenaz Treasury's diary?
this is my diary actually. So, when I was a kid, I read Bridget Jones' Diary. I remember this. I was based in Singapore for MTV then. And I read Bridget Jones' Diary, and I thought it was the best book ever. I was crying, I was laughing, I was like, this is me. I identified with her because she's a little plump, and somehow I may not look plump, but I've always been like a little plump child, like a teenage, I always identified with her, like always eating, and then exercising and all of that. And then boys, and I really identified with her, and I loved the book. And, somewhere this book is kind of like that. It's a diary about this girl and the different guys she meets. And even the format of the book is first there's a question. Okay. So the book's like every chapter starts with a question. And the questions are things like, can a boy be threatened by a girl's success? Is there any logic in love? See, I'll show you. So these are all like, there are questions over here.
Okay.
And every chapter starts with a question, Do you need distance to be closer?
Yeah.
Or do we chase bad boys because they free us from the pressure of being good girls? Do we chase bad boys because they free us from the pressure of being good? I'll read it one thing.
Yeah.
Do we chase bad boys because they free us from the pressure of being good girls?
Yes.
Right? Sorry, I just a little
tongue twister. Yeah. But let me quickly ask you that. Are you someone who has chased bad boys in the past?
Yeah, I really have, because I'm such a good girl. I mean, I feel like, when you look at me, you think, oh, she's such a good girl.
Yeah.
And then, like, I feel that pressure when I meet a guy who's really nice and he's a good guy. I may like him, but then I feel like I have to be this good girl. But then when I meet a bad boy, I can really be myself. And I think I'm a bad girl in a good girl, good girl body. And I look very like a sweet good girl, but actually I think I'm a bad girl.
Okay.
And somehow with bad boys, you can just be a bad girl. With guys, you have to like maintain yourself.
Yeah. So is this another alternate profession now, Shenaz? I read out so many, professions that you've already been dabbling in. Relationship counselor, love guru.
So I actually don't believe that you should do one thing for the rest of your life. I feel I love doing different things. So I started off when I was 16 as a model because they picked me up from college. So I did that. Then I was an MTV VJ. Then I was an actor. Then I was an actor in Hollywood as well. I was 7 years over there, and I was doing shows, movies there. Then I started doing this content creation. Now I'm a travel content, but now even doing other kinds of content, not just travel, romance, smile, which is travel contents, romance, like dating, and also smile is mental health. So I'm doing all three. Happiness quotient. And then like writing screenplays, writing books. And now soon I want to I would love to be the creative director on the show that, I make. I feel like you can dabble in different things all your life. Otherwise, life gets boring. Now you do the same thing all the time.
No, absolutely.
After 5-6 years, I get saturated with the same thing. I want to do something else.
And as you just spoke about, your dabbling in travel content creation, and I think that's something that people love on Instagram and online. Your travels and your journeys across the world. And I think when people must have heard you were writing a book, they must have thought you were writing on probably a travel book. Isn't that correct? So is that something that could be on the cards next as well? Because I do know you want to write.
So much. I think I like writing this I like writing about life.
Okay.
Dating life. I don't want to write a very non-fiction-y book, but this is fiction plus non-fiction, but it's more like it feels very real, right? It's like from my diaries, basically. But let's see. I don't know, but I really enjoy.
But there is something on the cards.
I enjoy chick flick genre.
Yes, there is something on the cards. I can tell.
I wish people read more. People don't read that much, so it's hard. For example, I'll make a video and it'll immediately hit 1 million, 2 million, 13 million, like something stupid like I did 3 days ago. One small sketch and like 13 million, and I did it in like 5 minutes. Wow. And then a book I write, it's sold like 15,000 copies, 20,000 copies. So I guess when you compare, because that many people are reading, like that many people will be invested in it, and that many people just watch a video.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to take this to screen. Like I
Great.
want to be a screen playwright. I want to be a writer for screen because I think that's what people watch.
Okay.
So whether it's like small content, people consume that more.
Let's hope producers are hearing this interview and they will take you up on that. Okay, yeah. I'll end then, Shenaz, by asking you your favorite two. So I'll ask you first your favorite two books. We want to know your favorite two travel destinations as well, and also your favorite two movies, since you also spoke about becoming a screenplay writer.
Okay, all right, sure. So I'll start with books, okay? So with books, I really loved Bridget Jones' Diary. It really impacted me as a kid, like I told you. And at that time, I was like, I'm going to write a book like this. But you know, you have to have a lot of experiences to write. So I had to wait a lot of years till I turned older, and and then I wrote my own little diary. So that's one book that really impacted me. In terms of books, I really love reading Indian authors as well. I really loved the White Tiger. I don't know if you've read it.
Yes,
so I love that book. It made it into a movie. I've not watched the movie, but I loved the book. I literally read it all in one day. I couldn't stop reading it. So that was really good. And another book called Taj. I can't remember the author's name, but it was great because it gave you the Taj. It showed you the Taj from different points of views, from, the people who made the Taj, it's just different points of views and different time periods. It was so well written. So that was another one. And then, of course, Sex and the City, was a book first. And I really loved reading Carrie Diaries in the beginning. So that also, that's my genre, which I like to write. So when I read it, it's really exciting and fun as well.
Okay. Now, favorite two travel destinations. Yes, clearly. Favorite two travel destinations.
You can't say favorite and travel destinations. Every place has a different new thing. I can tell you 4 places that I'm dying to visit that I had not traveled to. Okay. And one is Japan, which I'm planning in May. I hope it works out because it's my mom's dream to go to Japan. And the thing is, everyone's saying Japan has a lot of walking. My mom is, I don't think she'd like it if I tell you her age, but she is up there. And she can't walk that much. But I know Japan is like more than 25,000 steps in a day, which is usually what I do. But we have to figure out how to make Japan friendly for the older. So I want to take my parents to Japan. Then I want to go to Morocco.
Okay.
I want to go to Brazil.
Okay.
These are 3 places that I'm really dying to go. And then I want to go to South Korea as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 4 destinations that you're dying to go to, but Shenaz has not gone yet. That's quite amazing because we thought you've gone everywhere already. And finally, your favorite 2 movies.
Okay, I have to think of favorite 2 movies. Okay, I'll tell you what I watched recently that I really liked. Okay, I recently watched Lapata Ladies and I loved it. I thought it was so good.
Same here. I just saw that 3 days ago.
It was so cute. It was so fun, and it had a social message, but not in a preachy way.
Yes.
And it had me clapping and crying. I had so much respect for Kiran Rao. After that, I started following Instagram and all that. I was like, oh my God, I want her to read my book. But it was very, very well done. So Lapata Ladies was really good. And I'll tell you, I even watched Madgaon. I'm just telling you the recent movies. I usually watch Madgaon Express also. And is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Madgaon Express.
Yeah. Madgaon Express I recently watched. And in the beginning, I thought, oh God, what movie am I watching? This doesn't look good. And how are they showing Goa? And, Goa's my place and all that. But then the movie went on, like especially the second half. I found it very funny how everything got tied together. And it was very well done. And so much respect. I really enjoyed it. So 2 really good movies that I watched very recently.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Those were Shenaz's recommendations that we've got today for our viewers right there. And I like how you turned the question around, but you answered it in your own sparky way. So thank you very much for that. And we certainly hope that this becomes a screenplay very soon. So, Ghee Shakkar Aapke Muh Mein, thank you so much for the time.
I hope people read the book and leave a review on Amazon. I need those reviews on Amazon.
Okay. Well, so Kelly, all the best to you for your book. And Shenaz is waiting for our viewers to leave their comments on the book as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.